Jay and Professor Spike, streaming live from Long Island, New York. Welcome to the Talking Stocks Show. And really, it's not the stocks that are talking, but it's
you were me talking.
It's Professor Spike and Dr. J and Arjun and Jake, and then Linda. Hey, Linda. Great couple
All right,
of days. Linda's optimistic.
Well, good. Good on you, Linda.
It's much better start to this week than it was to last week, and Arjun is waiting in the wings.
Hello.
Arjun, there he is.
Welcome to Talking Stocks.
Talking stocks. I'm glad you emphasize that because we are talking.
Yeah. But, I pointed out to Professor Spike that it's not the stocks that are talking. We're the ones that are talking.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly.
Talk to the stock.
I can't help myself. I just got so much to say. I need to carry it.
It was just a point of clarification. You see, whichever team in New York is doing worse, I put that hat on.
Okay.
Very
Don't
rare.
say Dr. J doesn't have a soul.
Very rare for the Yankees to beat a team that's doing worse. But also, I'd like to wear my Yankee hat to provoke people because I think the Yankees are the team most people love to hate for whatever reason.
I think that's starting to change a little.
Yeah, but as they win fewer pennants, right?
Exactly. It might turn into the Dodgers soon. We'll see.
Yeah, the Dodgers.
Well, I guess Linda's still holding on to her CVM, which is good.
Linda's cashing. Linda, did you cash in your DMTK today? Up 20% at the open.
Well, that's what Jiggly did.
JMIA.
I should look that up one of these days. See if it even has anything that grabs me.
Oh, Jiggly.
Yeah, so
20% up. Why not sell it? Good move for Jiggly.
There you go.
Ing is here today to join us. Jiggly sold all the CMTK up 20% in the pre-market. Not a bad move. I think it closed up 8% or something like that.
Agreed. Yeah, that is a good move.
Always get back in if you do it.
Jiggly, I sold it at the beginning of the day when I saw it busted below $8. I'm out. I closed my position on $8. Kat, how you doing? But I wish you luck on that one, Jiggly. It's a good stock. I just had to sell it due to the technicals. Man.
Yeah, I just jumped back into Sava also.
P-Ing is long Sava for a long time. Very long Sava for a very long time.
Yeah, I got some Sava.
Yeah, and I went back in just recently.
Me too. I freed up some money from buying back the puts and now Sava.
Oh, there you go. Well, yeah.
DAP. Well, let's put that
Ice cream's on you, right?
Put that on.
I got it.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people are talking about this Gritstone COVID vaccine.
Erod is in.
I hadn't heard about it.
Erod loves it. He's buying a lot.
Their competition to VBIV and Vaxart and all of them. I know. I think Vaxart was up 40% today.
Vaxart had a big move. VBIV's up nicely. Yeah, not as nicely, but nice.
Yeah.
Well, they're giving us a taste anyway. Anything above 3, I'm happy.
I think that's Biden we're referring to, right?
Yeah, okay.
Gotta crawl before you walk. Yeah, that is Biden we're referring to.
Yeah. Okay. That was a long one to digest. Chris is with us today from Well, Chris is a St. Louis fan. I'm a New York fan. So this brings us back to what year when the Yankees last played the St. Louis Cardinals in the World Series. And can you tell me the two managers? I'll give you one of them. Tony Keane was the manager of the Cardinals. Who was the manager of the Yankees?
What year?
1964.
64.
That's Stengel?
Let's see.
No.
Oh, Yogi Berra. Was it Yogi?
You got it. Give Arjun a gold star.
Nice.
Yogi was the player manager.
Yogi Berra versus Johnny Keane, and the St. Louis Cardinals prevailed. Chris wouldn't remember that.
I'm a big baseball nerd. I've read way too much about random baseball stuff.
Halberstam had a whole book on that series.
ARWR and VBIV supporters.
Love it. Hello, Diego.
T-cell play with a deep pipeline. Phase 1 results.
Yeah, we'll give it a look.
Chris knew it was 1964.
Uh-huh.
We have our fans know their baseball. Our fans know their baseball. How do you like Dr. J coming up with that year? That was, I thought, pretty good.
Oh, good hope, Jiggly. Good words.
DraftKings.
All right.
I'm waiting again. I loaded up a little bit.
Let's go DKNG.
I'm never selling DraftKings. You can't make me.
Yeah.
Well, you're not going to do the.
When it goes to 100, you can sell it.
Well, look at this. We have somebody with a very weird name next.
Oh, is that who? Casares? Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah, he's a fan of the show.
Thomas Casares. Is that your son?
He's my nephew, actually.
Huh?
Oh, nice.
And, he's a big fan. He's a big fan of Dr. J. Not, Professor Spike, not so much.
Okay. DK
I haven't made him any kind of money. I've been somewhat used to the moon. Yes.
The moon.
That's what are you doing? Your Francis McDormand imitation?
I got out of all my end drive. Maybe I shouldn't have. I'm still in.
I'm still in that one.
Oh, I added more.
Isn't that one of yours?
I got out.
Oh yeah, I love that one. We're getting FDA approval soon. You're gonna wish you hadn't sold, buddy.
Can I get back in? Is it against the law?
Yeah, you can get back in right now.
Yeah, I can, no problem.
Well, did you leave nicely or did you leave nasty?
Yeah. Did you hurt their feelings?
I pared down from 80 some odd stocks to 18.
No, you did it right. You sold your bio laggards. Now bio's no longer drag. You can scale back in. You played it by the book. I like it.
Yeah.
By the book. I like it.
By the book, by my book.
Yeah. I guess everyone has their own book. I like your book.
I wrote the book.
Clearly, I like your book because I keep coming back here.
Right. Well, because you know what side of the bread has the butter on it.
I wrote.
Absolutely.
Who wrote the book of love? I can't sing. If I sing, people leave.
Well, that just caused you one demerit on this reading. Even that attempt.
They call me worse names than if I don't sing.
Well, they call me Mr. Speedo.
Okay.
My real name is
We
Earl.
have a definite most marked reversal here, don't we? Just by looking at the chart.
Absolutely.
It's traveling.
We're jumping straight into 10 cent, huh?
Look, 10 cent was a falling knife until it reversed with this big green candle. You know how I love a big green candle after a long downfall. Chris will tell you it's my favorite pattern. 4/7/2021. It bottomed at 76.44, and we've been inching up. It looks like it should be much higher, but there's small moves. 10 cents must be a low beta stock, relatively speaking, but it's making a very bullish, slow but bullish move up. So do I like 10 cents? Yes. I haven't yet loaded the boat, but it's in my top 10 holdings as of now. So I do like 10 cents. I think it made a very short, clear reversal, and we're moving on up. We break the 100, I'll load up some more. But I want to see it. I'm not anxious for the 50 to go cross 100 though. So that's getting close. I'd rather not have that happen.
For that.
Hopefully it bounces off it, but yeah.
Yeah. But it's a very, very beautiful, clear reversal. You don't have to be a genius chart reader to see this. All right. That was on my list. Normally I start with...
Yes, it was. Usually we start with BCRX.
Normally I start with BCRX, but I think I'll go next to this one. That should be sold pre-market up 20%. DermTech. If my computer ever loads, I did not sell any, but I did write some calls and got some cash.
Oh, very nice.
I wrote some calls on some of my shares.
In the money or out of the money?
I wrote out of the money calls. I wrote out of the money calls.
Really?
Wow, that's rare for you.
When the stock was at 50, I wrote the 55s. I got $3 and change.
That's a great price for what? For May expiry?
For May.
Wow.
In other words,
So
I got how much percent is that? 18%.
That's incredible. 18%. So even if it hits 58, you break even. Fantastic.
That's correct.
Love it.
So I did good, but not as good as Jiggly, who simply sold at 20% up and maybe can buy back soon. So
I live for plays like that. Well done.
We're looking right here at a possible gap fill at 41.16. So that would be the time to come back in if it fills that gap. If Jiggly, or even for me, when some of the calls that I wrote, cover those calls and own the stock clear once again. I don't think it's going to go from 41 to 58, but who the hell knows? Stranger things have happened. So for pennies, I would probably cover my calls. Like tomorrow, if it collapsed, I'd probably cover my calls just in case.
Buy them back.
It's extremely, extremely, extremely volatile stock. So it's hard to know what to expect. But the tip-off was the engulfing candle that Spike and I were talking about the other day. Remember we were talking about this particular engulfing? It was a falling knife until that engulfing on 4/21. And that was the tip-off to buy some DermTech. And then news came, I think it was Friday, was Monday? I don't remember when the news came, probably Monday. The news was that they have perfected their DermTech Smart Patch to be even smarter. Does that make sense? It is now 99% perfect on its negative calls, and false positives aren't much different. So maybe 1% false negatives and 1% false positives. In other words, the accuracy is incredible with the new and improved kit, or patch, whatever you want to call it. I forget what they call it. Smart round thing that goes on your boo-boo. on the pigmented lesion. All right, so DermTech has the fundamentals are in place. There was too much of happiness, clearly, for the news, and you have to wait for sales and all that other stuff. So the reality of the earnings release, which probably won't be so good, I don't know when their earnings are. Can we do a quick check on that? Earnings on DermTech? Anybody?
Yeah. Keep going. I'll tell you.
Okay, I have a feeling the earnings are not going to be really great. But with the new kit, I think there'll be a lot more adoptions by dermatologists. I looked it up in my neighborhood in Long Island, and there were only 2 dermatologists that were listed under my zip code as being nearby to do the dermapatch, whatever it's called. So not sure about the sales penetration so far, but they did line up the Medicare okay, and a lot of insurance companies. They're getting good money for this patch, this test, whatever it is. It's good money. They just got to get doctors to buy in. And that's also tough because that's their bread and butter, right? They like to take things off. They call it surgery, and they make tons of money. The dermatologists. My dermatologist,
I think May 12th. I think May 12th.
My dermatologist is the richest man I know.
May 12th, if you want to hedge.
Yeah, my feeling is that this May 12th earnings call may not be that great. But
well,
the future looks bright. Anyway.
Even if it is good, they'll sell the news.
Earnings is never a moneymaker these days.
Yeah. I don't want to spend too much time on this one.
Yeah, we need BCRX. A couple people are into that one.
Really?
How about this one? The vaccine
nice.
all had a good day today.
We can finally talk about bio again without puking in our mouth.
Well, VBIV had a very nice day.
That's one of your guys. We're finally above 3. I'm so psyched.
It was not an engulfing candle back here on the 21st, but it was a big green monster candle after a huge drop. So we had a long dry spell. We got the big turnaround candle and up since. As Chris knows, this is my favorite pattern. Dr. J's favorite pattern, a long drop with a big green candle.
Absolutely.
So I like to wait for it to get in on a pullback to the middle of that candle and look where it pulled back the next day. Just about the middle. Everything was working according to my way of thinking, but I didn't enter at that point. I was already out and did not re-enter.
I was selling.
When you're down to 18 stocks, you got to be more selective, too selective.
Yeah, this one I made pretty decent money on from that low, selling some puts. They decayed really fast.
Yeah.
This one,
advantage of the swing.
I was swinging, looking for 39. I sold it at like 34. So I never got to 39.
Yeah, this one was weird. I thought this was going to go off to the races, and then it just
I don't know where I sold it. I'm out of it at a higher number than where it is now. Yeah, I thought so too. When I saw it was lagging, I just got out. So I made a few bucks. Nothing to write home about, but better than losing.
Mm-hmm.
And this one, the one that Jiggly bought after the close on a big dip, I sold it at something like $8. I got out of all of my Avdale. I was about even at $8, so I got out. Didn't like the performance today on an up day for bio. We put in a miserable candle. So it was enough to get me out. And moving right along, let's look at one that I have a lot of money in, not as much as some people, but a lot of money. It's still in my top 10. And still making new highs every day, even though
looking good.
Gave back at the end, no big deal. It made another new high. That's all I care about.
Yep. I told everyone my plan. I'm still sticking to it. We're gonna hedge on earnings a little bit.
You have to start thinking about covering a little bit, fading a little bit, or whatever you want to call it, hedging a little bit before the earnings.
Yep. You got.
We still got about a week and a half.
Yep, you got till next Thursday, and I think we're going to get EU approval before then. I mean, we have to. Monday, I think, is the deadline, so I think that'll help a little. And then that's when you start hedging.
It's probably baked in, the EU approval.
Yeah, it could be, but you still get a little pop, and I'm saying on that pop you hedge, then it'll pull back.
I mean, what are we talking about? If we're only talking about a couple of shekels, it might not be worth it, but... Well, I'm thinking like they might go above 13 at that point.
Exactly.
EU approval might take it above 13. I was going to say
that's what I'm thinking. Yeah. And then I think earnings, it's either going to go up to 16 or it's going to go down to like 10.50.
Let me point out where strong resistance is going to be. I think I pointed this out before.
Yeah,
it was like 1280, 1290. Yeah, 1290.
Yeah, right in there. And it almost hit it today. Notice it bounced, it shied away. That's probably the reason for pullback. It's going to be tough getting past that 1290. So if pre-market you see it at 1330 on EU news, maybe you pull a jiggly and sell a little.
I agree with that. I think that makes sense.
We're going to call it pulling a jiggly, selling in the pre-market.
Well,
nice little jig.
Privilege has its privileges.
Yeah, but I mean, long term, I still think this is a $25 stock, whether it's a takeout or not.
Yes.
It's one of my top 10 holdings. My top 10 holdings has DraftKings, DermTech, BCRX. Then I think it's pretty much blue chips. Anyway. ATH also has ATHX, unfortunately for me.
Yeah, a lot of us are still on that one.
Yeah.
Well, we might as well put that on the list.
What else did I have on the list today? Sorrento.
CVM should be next. CVM, because people still the question is, are we waiting for data? Are we doing swinging? What are we doing with this guy?
I sold all my CVM. I'm now out.
100%.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, 100%. The only thing I might have is some shares in my wife's account.
Interesting.
I'd have to look. I haven't looked at her account in a long time. It just kind of.
Are you going to bail out those? You're going to leave them in there?
I'll leave them in.
Might as well.
You
still have that 50-50 coin flip.
I'm not even sure if I have stock in it of CVM. I think I do. Or she does.
I'm loaded up here. I'm waiting.
You're a better man than me, Gongadin.
Certainly braver.
This is really resistant.
I have to take money sometime.
Gee, it really bumped against resistance today.
Yeah.
Wow. Right there. If it breaks that, it could go to 40. I mean, it's crazy.
Again.
If you have any hesitation, right now is the time to trim.
Indeed.
Yeah, I mean,
I sold a little at 40. I'm not crazy.
If it breaks this number, the high of the day, whatever it was.
Yeah, it's going to 35.
It could easily go to 35. Yeah.
Well, it looks like it's got some mo. It depends on some of the externalities also.
Yeah, I mean, right now it does have the Momo. It's a question of whether it's double, triple top holds or not. So
Yeah.
I might have sold a little too early, but I got my
right now. I feel like I'm at crossroads, so I'm glad we're talking about it.
price, que sera, sera.
Right.
You got to. I was basically set in sell modes. When you go down from 80 some odd stocks to 18, you have to be selling a lot of stuff, even stuff you like.
It's like cleaning out your attic.
But it's stuff that I was attached to, like CVM and other stocks. I sold them anyway. The only one I couldn't get myself to sell was ATHX, even though I wanted to.
Might as well do that one now since we're talking about it.
All right. I wanted to sell it in the worst way today before it collapsed. And I said, it's so hard for me to sell it. It just trembled. I mean,
net, I'm positive on it, but there's a lot more promise. What happened? Oh, there it is.
It just collapsed for no reason. No reason. Just collapsed 3.5% for no reason. I mean, this is just the most disappointing stock that I've ever owned, in a way. Most frustrating.
Look good yesterday.
I can't believe I'm below my average price at this point. I think my average is about 179 or something like that. So it's frustrating as hell. The only good news is we still haven't broken the little uptrend from 5 days ago. The trend line that's forming is so far holding.
I'm not liking that cross, the cross of the 9.
There's very little to like about this chart except the last 5 days, but today was kind of yucky though, even though it made a new high. It made a higher high than yesterday. That's the good news. And the other good news is it held the trend line support. And the other good news is it held the 9-day support. So it's got support where it is. You don't want to see it go lower than this, because if it breaks this recent low of $1.58, probably $1.50 area is next, and who knows if that holds. So it's a very frustrating stock. The catalysts aren't clear. I mean, we know what they are, but when they occur is not clear. So frustration. What else?
We had a request for Tandem, believe it or not. An oldie but a goodie.
Tandem, a Cat. I think it's a Cat. Are you still long Tandem? Cat said she was swinging it a while ago. 100 from around 80, I think she got in. So that looked like a good call as it closed at 94, down 42 cents.
Yeah, this was the one that we
know the
between
fundamentals
90 and 100, and then it took a pretty big dip. No, the Cat's out of it now.
Yeah.
I think Jiggly's out of this one too.
Okay.
Oh, Jiggly has a little bit left.
Know it's out of it. A little bit left?
He's got a little left.
Uh-huh.
No problem, Andrew.
Well, he furnished his whole house with this one.
Yeah, I mean, when it came off 100, it came way off 100. It went down.
Oh yeah.
When it was 80.
I want to see a monster engulfing candle. You go back to this candle here. That's a monster.
Yeah, look at
monster engulfing. From a low of 80.55 to a high of 85.20. That's a monster engulfing candle. So, and it's done nothing but go up since that monster engulfing candle. You talk about a single candle being predictive. That's a really good one. This is a nice textbook example of an engulfing candle. what it can do. Textbook, because it dropped from a high of 105. By the time that engulfing candle took place, the low was 80. So you're talking about a 25% drop, the 28% drop. Huge drop, and then that engulfing, and it turns it all around. So that's let that be a lesson to you people. When that big engulfing candle happens at the bottom of a long downtrend, take note. Take note.
Trend begins.
Should have kept an eye out on this one all along.
Take note. It's textbook. And
another one is ADAP. That's what people have been asking for.
Forget about the past. What can we do for you now?
Right, exactly. I mean, that 9-day looks encouraging too. Still.
And the 9-day, yeah, the 9-day is support now.
Because we're still above the 9-day, and its head is crossing above all that stuff. I don't know. Maybe it's still got a couple more dollars to go.
Well, yeah. It looks to me like it does. It looks to me like it very well should challenge the high here of 98.58. I would be if I were in it, I'd be looking for 4 more points. FOMO.
We have requests for ADAP.
That's from Man.
A couple people.
Dan, I think, right?
Let me see. I have to see. You're actually asking me to keep track.
No, Dan, I remember.
Yeah, Dan, you're right.
Okay, so we took out. We take this out. Let's just draw the line to the most recent high, significant high.
Good call, Jiggly.
I drew the wrong kind of line. I drew a crooked line instead of a straight line. Straight enough.
Yeah. Got to bump up against another 10 cents or so, 5 cents.
Yeah, 586 was the high that it's got to take out. And it didn't today. I want to see it take 586 out. And subsequently, after that, we want to see it take out 605. And then we're off to the races. You get past those two numbers, you're off to the races. We're right at resistance.
Right. So you got to wait to add till there's clarity.
And we had a nice little run along with the other biotechs. Biotech, it looks like is it too soon to say biotech is back?
I don't say it's back. It's just not drag.
Yeah, it's not drag anymore. We can't call it bio-drag anymore.
Yeah. Just take it one step at a time.
Yeah, it's definitely not bio-drag. There's a key low that proved to be very strong support as the chart neared that low. It turned around. Now we're at another key point of resistance. It's got to take that out, and it could fly. So Dr. J might get in. I got this on my watch list now. I put it on my watch list.
Very nice.
I have a load of cash for swinging, a lot of reserve money for swinging. I decided not to keep more than like 20 stocks in my portfolio permanently or semi-permanently and swing the rest. This is one of my favorite rounded patterns. It's technically not a cup and handle because, well, maybe it is. Usually, cup and handle is coming out of a long down slide. It comes back up and then it goes down. This one had a little bit. It did have a little bit of a downslide. You can call it the cup and handle. What the hell? Give you permission.
It's a cup.
It's certainly
there's a little handle there.
it's certainly one of my favorite patterns, and I like these patterns, but I don't like the company because if I bought this, Jake wouldn't talk to me.
Oh, please.
You should. Yeah, I'm not buying this. I mean, if anything, definitely don't buy it now. Like it's bumping up against all these resistances anyway.
I'm just saying the pattern is nice, and it looks like it could make a nice run to over $10. Joe, looking at the chart, it does look that way, but it is Sorrento, and based on the fundamentals, it went up today on not the great. It was good news. They got permission to start a phase 2 trial in bladder cancer. But what does that really mean? You're years away from a touchdown. So,
yeah, I mean, I have one SESN that I've been in for bladder cancer for much longer that I like better, actually.
Yeah.
You know about CSUN Bio?
Yeah,
Talked about it a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I've been in that one for over a year. I don't even look at it.
The thing you got to worry about here is the 200. As soon as it hit the 200, whoops, down she goes.
Yeah, exactly.
So tomorrow is a key day. If it can break that 200, it'll go to 1050. And if it can't break that 200, it'll probably go all the way back down to the lows because it is Sesson. I mean, it is Sorrento.
Yep.
So I wouldn't be surprised. 10, 11, 7, 11. Give me 7 or give me 11.
Sounds like a swing to me.
Yeah, 7-11. If you want to go long, you're looking at 1050. You want to go for a stop loss, I guess. You don't want to let it go too long. If you really want to swing this, you probably would get out at 758, something like that.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, 7-11. 7-11. But I think whatever's going to happen is the tip off will be tomorrow. So tomorrow is a decisive day. Do we get to follow through or not? So that's how I see it. The answer, my friend, is blowing in the air, and you don't have to wait too long. 24 hours, and you'll know the answer. Less than that.
The next one is Vaxart.
Which one?
Vaxart.
Vaxart. VXRT, right?
Yeah, that ran like crazy today.
Yeah, curious news. I think they're a long ways off from a vaccine phase 1 study. I mean, again, this is like Sorrento, probably maybe a better shot than Sorrento. It just ran too quick on news that is not that amazing. Good news, but not that amazing. So I don't know. I'm not in love with this one. I mean, at this point, I'm not in love with it because it had a big run, came back. If it crosses below the 200 and the 100, it'll probably retrace the whole thing to the 50. So watch this one on a cross below the 200 and the 100. If it retraces that much of the candle, it'll probably retrace the whole candle, and maybe even more. So this one, I'm not that bullish, to say the least. What else do I have?
Gritstone, people have been asking for.
That one is interesting. Grits.
I like them better than Vaxart.
I like it with my oatmeal, grits and oatmeal. Also with eggs, grits and eggs.
Was this one of those Reddit plays? It has that look to it.
I don't know, but if it was a Reddit failure. I mean, it did a collapso I guess.
I mean, if you're betting on the Generation 2 vaccines, I think it's fine to own some of this one. It's too early to tell, though, who's going to win. You just got to own a little bit of all of them.
I mean, because
you have a little bit of a cup and handle pattern forming.
Yeah. I like this one to own at least a bit.
It's going to be a winner in that play? And even there,
I like it. I will like it a hell of a lot better if the price breaks at least the 100 and the 200. It doesn't have to break the 50. If it gets up to 1066, then I like the price action.
Sure.
Even now, the chart is not bad. It might be worth a dabble. It might be. I'm not in love with it, but it might be worth a few shekels. I don't know anything about the vaccine play, but apparently it's got a shot, right?
Yeah, it has a shot. It's worth owning some. Anyone who says they know who has the best one for round 2, I think is full of it.
Well, you got Vaxart, which is a player, Gristone, which is the player, and player.
Yeah,
and then the other one,
Altimune is another player.
Altimune.
So you got at least 4 players with these secondary vaccines.
Yeah, I'm still sitting on that one just since Jake gave it to us a while ago.
I think there's better things that you could own, but if you want to own this one, it's nothing wrong with getting in now, as far as I can see. You got the charts turning in your favor. Today was a little bit of a give back day, so if you haven't been in yet and you want to get in, it's an opportunity. I'm not really that down on this one, so you can play it if you like. What else?
Why don't we do AGC?
I'm starting to accumulate a position in this one. It's one of my 18 stocks.
Right.
Now this one is merging with Grab, G-R-A-B, the Southeast Asia lift, or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Yeah. So it's a big play. It's going to be multi-billion-dollar merger. One of the biggest SPAC mergers in history of SPACs, if not the biggest. So by market cap, they expect I don't know how many billion. So I figure I'm going to be in for the ride, so to speak. I'm in.
Yeah. Yeah, I jumped in this one a couple weeks ago.
I started buying it lower, so I'm happy with the price. And the chart looks fine. The resistance probably would be the middle of this red candle with strong resistance. So if I want to draw in where it's got to get past before it'll really run, at this point it's inching up. But if it gets past the midpoint of this candle, it'll really take off. This high, 14.89. So another $1 or so. Look out! It could shoot to the moon before the merger. Meanwhile, it's inching. All right. What else do we have?
Well, we'd start doing a couple of your favorites, Tesla and DraftKings.
Yeah, okay.
Those were the last 2 on your list, and then I have some more of mine.
I added to Tesla today on the pullback due to earnings. The earnings were just fine, no reason to pull back. And Elon Musk said the Y car will be the biggest selling car in America next year. Or whenever, I don't know if it was next year, but he made the prediction. The Y car, Model Y. And my answer to Elon is, why not?
Yeah.
It would be nice to have an American-made car, the top-selling car in America, for a change. When was the last time that happened?
Yeah, I think that's when you used to crank them like this.
When was the last time GM had the best-selling car in America, or Ford?
Well, they, during the early part of the SUV phase craze, they were back on top a little bit.
A little bit, but I
then
think
they got their butts kicked by the Japanese again.
The last family car sedan that was made by an American car company that outsold the Japanese cars was probably the Ford Taurus.
Ford Taurus, interesting.
That's what I think. I'm full of useless information like that. But it would be nice to see the Y car model surge to the lead. The chart is just fine. I expect it to be up 25 points tomorrow. It was down 33 today. Maybe, or if it was down 33 today, it'll be up 50 tomorrow. There's nothing to worry about with this one.
Linda wants to hear about Fisker because we're on the same subject.
I sold all my Fisker for a little profit.
So, I mean, is there any kind of relationship between one's success and one's failure? Is there a zero-sum game going on here between Tesla and Fisker?
No, I think the game is between Tesla and Tesla.
Okay.
No other
because
company.
there was a little bit of talk about whether Apple was going to back one of these companies, like the Churchill one or Fisker.
Churchill.
There was a lot of talk today about Apple in that respect.
Maybe Churchill will be number 2. But it looks like I did the right thing selling as it bumped into the 200, and it's kind of flagging right now. So I expect a little more consolidation before it breaks out. It should break out along with the other EV plays, but I don't know if it's going to be spectacular or not. Goldman analyst says $10, sell. Both analysts says $1, buy. Morgan Stanley analyst says $41, buy. You take the average, it's still pretty good.
Yeah.
Right. Groupthink.
Yeah.
Do you want to do CCIV since we're on this subject?
Yeah. Didn't that have a little pop?
It did. Like I said, it was Apple talk. It's rumors really at this point. Nobody said anything for certain.
Yeah.
That's why Fisker's name came back into it. Well, if you're talking about Apple getting into the space.
So Apple hooking up with Churchill would be a formidable player.
Well, whoever Apple backs is going to be a formidable player. If Apple backs Volkswagen, then that's going to be the one.
Yeah, that's true. Apple plus anything is formidable. Well, right now, it came back to the 100. You want to buy it? There's nothing wrong with buying it here because it had that big green candle that had its pullback. It looks fine.
I was actually, when it gave that nibble sign, I was actually thinking about it.
I think it clearly bottomed on Monday, right? Not on Monday, on Wednesday of last week, it bottomed. So
and that is an engulfing green candle, isn't it?
Put in a bottom here at 1762. It's a nice pop already to 2274. It pulled back today. It was even higher. Yesterday it closed at 24.29. So
it went to the middle of the candle like you always anticipate.
I like it. I think the 100 is going to prove support. It's probably a good swing trade. Put in a stop a little below the 100, and you're looking for the 50 for take profit, 27.50. So you could get a 5 point.
Yeah, or this might be the time to just get into it. I was going to wait till the merger, but
that's a good entry point.
Or you could play it as a swing, either way. I like it as a swing. It's a good spot for a swing trade. You take the low of this candle as a stop loss, 20 and a half, and your take profit would be up here at about 27. I like it as a swing. You don't have to be a genius. What else?
Yeah. The last one on your list was DraftKings.
And that was flat on the day, right?
Excuse me?
Wasn't that flat on the day?
Yeah, it was. It was not an inspiring day for DraftKings.
Very flat, unchanged pretty much. But the problem is it gave back a lot of early morning gains. But the good news is it filled the gap that it would have left. So it's okay. It still has upward momentum. It's still going to be 100 by the end of the year, so anything it does right now doesn't much matter.
Agreed.
This one looks like one of the obvious picks. And sometimes just because it's obvious doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. That sounds like a Yogi Berraism. Just because it's obvious doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. Yeah.
Sounds like somebody who always games themselves like myself.
It's an obvious winner, and everybody says it's going to 100, including Dr. J. I said it first. Is there anything else?
53.
We have a couple more. You wanted to do the Chinese.
See you guys Friday.
Take care, Arjun.
Take care. One more.
You want to do one more? Well, you wanted to do. I'd rather you do crisp.
You got it.
If there's only one more.
Well, how are we doing on time?
It's 52 minutes. We got about 8 minutes to our usual hour.
Oh, okay. We can do two more.
Okay, so let's do CRSP. And then
it looks good now with the 9-day crossing the 50. It's got about to cross. We could get a nice continuation up to the 100 easily.
Yeah, I was just wondering why today was such a disappointing day. Things were looking good.
It ran, and when you have those big green candles, it often pulls back midway, which is what happened.
Right.
So it stopped where it's supposed to stop. Nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
Stocks don't just move in one direction; they go two directions. They're bidirectional.
Sometimes they even go in and out, but you can't see it.
Sometimes, but they're definitely bidirectional. It's normal to have a little pullback. So it's okay to buy this one. I've been nibbling I've been nibbling on this one a lot. I don't know if it's my top 10, but it's my top 12 probably by now. What else?
You wanted to do the Chinese Qs.
I like the Chinese Qs. I like them better than our Qs recently, anyway. Just similar to TCEHY, we had a clear downward move, followed by a clear upward move since what's the date? March 26 was the bottom here, and we've been moving up since, and it doesn't look like we're going to stop. So we have this 200 as support, and the only thing is its slope is not very great, but it's climbing. It's climbing, although it's slow. So we're low is 78.
It's no worse than 10 cents, actually.
Yeah, the low is 78. Now it's 84, 80. So you can see the slope is not great, but it's going in the right direction. And for an index, it's going fine. I think it'll outperform the Qs, American Qs. The American Qs are at all-time highs, where Chinese Qs are way off the highs and due to play catch-up. How's that?
Well, you want to show the cues now, just for comparison purposes,
I want. Well,
since we're here.
oh, you mean on the same chart? I don't really want to do that.
No. Just go to the regular cues now, just for comparison.
Oh, they're just making new highs every day. They're boring.
Today was an ad day for the cues, I think.
Today was a pullback. Not much of a pullback, but pullback.
These charts do not look anything alike.
No. But I do think that you'll see the Chinese cues play catch up. So where you're buying at the top on the American cues, you're getting a discount on the Chinese cues. Because people are scared of the government, taking money away from them. They got to get paid off. They got to get their money.
If you go back about 6 weeks, that's sort of what the Chinese cues looks like. The downward slope and then a sort of a leveling.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if the Chinese cues is a month behind ours, then you're right. It's got a really good room.
Yeah, I think that you're looking at we're a month ahead.
If that's the case, yeah, then it seems the way to go. So of course that's just your thinking and your advice. Well, not advice.
Yeah. As always, our opinions are strictly our own and do not constitute investment advice. People should do their own due diligence, check with an advisor before acting. And if they haven't already, they should subscribe to this channel and tell their friends about Spike and Dr. J and Arjun and Jake and Linda and Jigglypuff and all the great people that show up all the time. Yeah. So what do you think? The bull is going to continue, right?
What do I think? I'm not paid to think. I'm just paid to keep track.
Well, the bull is going to continue until we get that 10 or 20% correction that everyone's talking about.
Right. Well, I mean, for my original prognostication to be true, that's going to have to happen in the next 3 days, and I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're still in the melt up, not the melt down.
I saw the Morgan Stanley analyst was on CNBC yesterday. I caught him 2 days ago saying that he expects a 10-20% correction in the risk-on stocks in particular. I guess the Googles, the Amazons, all of them.
No blue chips.
And the analyst, the stock analyst from BofA, Shrita, whatever her name is, said the same thing. And
right.
And the Goldman, I think, said the same thing. So the equities analysts are all calling for a 10 to 20% correction, but they don't say when.
Right. Well, maybe it'll fall into that sell in May.
Maybe.
And then pick up again during the summer.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, so you're in a good position then in terms of having bailed out. I'm still running a couple of things and waiting for them to hit. But you're right. I guess I'm waiting for them to hit before this thing.
I consolidated to what I think is my best 18 stocks, and I'm adding more money to those, and I'm still keeping like 35-40% cash for swing purposes. That's my strategy.
Well, there you go.
I think I'm going to be swinging Churchill, whether it's after the close or tomorrow.
You know, it's a compelling one, especially if it goes down a little bit more. It gives us another good entry.
Let's say I'm young. Let's say shalom.
Yes.
Let's say.
DJ has to make this call.
I take this call right now, right?
All right. Well, see you all on Friday.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Sayonara.